welcome to a milestone episode 50 of PauseCast. It is Thursday, the 10th of August, 2017. I am Jessica Elouette, and I use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Mark Hanna, I use he, him. Welcome.
All I heard was Hannah, I use he, him. Wow,
Oh, really?
This is a
Lord.
nightmare. I'm howling at the moon. Hi, welcome to PauseCast. That was don't worry about what that was a reference to. You don't need to know, I promise. This is a show about video games. We talk about video games. We like video games, I think. Do you like video games, Mark?
Last I checked, yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, video games are pretty cool. So, we're here to talk about video games. Let's talk about video games. What have you been playing this week?
So you know how I normally will pick a game and run with it, but the past few weeks I've been like, hey, I haven't really been doing that. I've kind of continued that. So instead of the one game I've been playing at Only Report, I've played 4 games this last week, which is way more than usual for me.
That's a new record.
Probably. I haven't played a huge amount of any of them, to be fair. Oh, I played a decent amount of one of them. So I finished Dying Light with my flatmate, and by finished, I mean finished the main story. We can go back to it. We haven't played the expansion stuff yet.
Okay.
So that was really cool, as it was the first time I played through it. And I've also touched on a few other games. I've continued with a bit of City Skylines. Like I mentioned last week, I've found it to be a really nice multitasking game for when I'm listening to something as well. And I've done that with Stardew Valley a bit as well this week.
Ooh.
And the other game I touched on is one I've returned to a little bit, which is Splinter Cell Conviction.
Okay, you're back on that Splinter Cell tip.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm going to do more than one session, honestly. So the thing that happened there, this was interesting, was at work, the Spotify stereo that's playing all the time, a track came on that plays at the most memorable and powerful sequence in Splinter Cell Conviction. And so of course I remembered that, and thinking about it made me really want to play the game again. So I did. But it turns out that at least when I went to play it, I did not have the patience to play a stealth game well. So I got in a lot of firefights, basically. Is what happened there.
Stealth game burnout.
Yeah, I mean it is really good. I should probably go back to it when I'm in a slower paced mood, I guess. Which is that sort of pace has been fine with the other games I'm playing because something else is occupying my mind. But Splinter Cell isn't a game I could multitask with in the same way, so I haven't been trying that.
No, certainly. And stealth games are super methodical, and they definitely take a lot of concentration. That I don't know. I used to love that feeling, but now I'm not so much in that place. That seems to be a running theme with just how I'm playing games lately. It's just I used to enjoy this thing, and now it feels different and weird, and maybe I don't like it as much anymore. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I've been having some thoughts about stealth games actually, because I watched my brother play through he played through Dishonored 2, and I watched a bunch of him playing it. Not the whole game, but a couple of the missions. And the point of his playthrough was no kills never get seen. And of course, the result of that was every time he got seen, it was game over. He had to load the game. It's got me thinking how a lot of the time, even though a stealth game might not actually say game over when you get seen, unless it's a special stealth mission in some certain games. I've seen those before, and they can be a real pain. But it still feels like that. It's I got seen, I'll just load. And I find stealth games can do a lot better when stealth feels more like a tool than a challenge, I guess. And I get a bit of that feeling from Splinter Cell, but it definitely gets harder once you get seen. I should possibly mention, actually, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the Splinter Cell series, This is the second most recent game. Um, there's one more recent called Blacklist, but it is almost sort of a reboot. Technically, it continues on after the story, but they kind of are effectively ignoring everything that happened beforehand. The main character has a new voice actor for the first time ever and stuff like that. So I'm kind of treating it as separate in my head.
Right, yeah.
Whereas I'd played the couple of games that lead up to this as well, so I've got a bit of familiarity playing them with the characters that are, coming back from previous games instead of just being introduced in this game. Whereas my flatmate, for example, he has it, but he hasn't played any other games, so when he sees Anna Grimm's daughter pop up, it's just like, oh, it's some person. Whereas me, it's like, oh no, I remember them from playing Chaos Theory and stuff like that. Just kind of different as well.
Yeah. It's like a modern military stealth game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games with Tom Clancy's name on it.
Yeah. Is it difficult? I've heard the phrase "difficult" to a Tom Clancy fault said about a few games. Does that very much apply? Like, is it a super hard game?
Well, I mean, it's got difficulty setting for one thing. It a lot of the time feels like a bit of a puzzle game, as stealth games often do. And then if you get in a firefight, that goes out the window.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to talk about this one feature that it did. I can't actually remember if it came back in Blacklist, because that game just isn't as memorable to me as Conviction.
Do you need to have a think about that?
Oh no, it doesn't matter if it came back. I'll talk about it anyway. What it is, so the idea is you're playing Sam Fisher, the badass secret agent who's amazing, but you, the player, are not amazing at things like shooting people. So it lets you mark enemies, so you're like tracking their place behind walls and whatnot. And a bunch of games have got this, but the cool thing it has is after you do a melee kill, so you have to get close to someone, then you can press a button to execute every marked enemy within that you have a line of sight on and range. So you can this person's walking through a dark area, you punch them to death or whatever. Mark two enemies, and then there's a third, and you shoot the third because you're fine. They're standing still. You're in the dark. You can just line it up and shoot them, and then immediately press execute, and Sam will then go and shoot the other two perfectly. He'll never miss the mark and execute shots. And it does a really good job of one, adding a puzzle element to the game. So you're thinking, okay, which ones do I need to leave so that I can melee execute them to get that power back and reuse it? And also just feeling powerful because of the character you're playing rather than player skill, which I think it's done to really great effect in this. And spoils some little amount of stuff, sort of. The music that I'd heard at work that made me want to play this again, it plays during a scene where I won't spoil story stuff that I can avoid. So something gets revealed to him that makes him really, really angry. And the game portrays this in a few ways. It's his body language. He's tosses stuff, but it also throughout it has projected words and videos onto surfaces in the game as a way of showing you this is your objective, this is the person you need to find and stuff, which is quite effective. And it comes up with words like anger and grief, and it's quite effective, I think, in this scene. But what then happens is
it seems like, sorry for interrupting.
No, go for it.
That seems kind of hokey. It seems kind of hokey and goofy.
I like it.
Okay. I'm not calling that into question. It seems at first blush to be just this really hokey and goofy thing that I don't know. I've played a little bit of Conviction and I don't think it had quite the same impression on me.
No, that's totally fun. I can see why people wouldn't like it as well, but it's a take I don't think I've seen before on how you can let a player of a game get an insight into the character's head without having to just have them do an internal monologue the player can hear. That was quite cool.
Right, okay.
And I hadn't seen it done elsewhere like that. And yeah, I can see how you could like it, you could not like it. I liked it because it was a nice experiment in giving me that insight, and it worked well in this bit. But
yeah,
that wasn't the point of the scene I was describing. What it does next, so Sam's angry, and you've been shown he's angry, and then basically you're walking out of a base that's going to self-destruct, and there's all these badass agents coming in to kill you. But while he's angry, as soon as he sees anyone, they're immediately marked, and he has the power and he has the execute power. So you're walking out, and people will shot up and be like yelling about it being Sam and going to shoot you. You just walk through and you just press E, and he shoots them like perfectly every time. And it's a really good way of like there's no player challenge to that at all, but it's not a cutscene, so you still feel like you've got your own agency in that, and it's just a really good way of really driving home the skill of the character, I guess. I don't know, I just thought it was a really fantastic scene, and hearing the music was enough to make me remember it and want to play the game again to play it again. So I thought that was pretty special.
Yeah.
Even though it is violent as hell.
It sounds like it. I don't know. I kind of want to get into. I might maybe even go back to Conviction. It was not a game I finished or was having a like. I have weird feelings about it because I didn't like how the narrative was being told.
That's fair.
I didn't necessarily have any problems with the narrative in and of itself that I remember, but I had a problem with how it was being told. Because it was just weird. It was just weird. Like, it reveals quite a bit to you in reverse.
Had you played any of the previous games?
I had not, no.
Okay.
So, Conviction was a first.
There's a little bit of a setup where in the previous game, Double Agent, the very opening scene is where he finds out about his daughter being killed. And, of course, that's a very important part of the story of Conviction. So there's some setup there, which, I don't know, maybe helps with that, maybe doesn't. For what it's worth in terms of finishing the game, I didn't really care that much for the last couple of missions. They felt less personal, I guess, whereas I was playing it, again, having played the previous ones, to see where Sam's story went. But getting past this particular scene that I described, that's the point where I wanted to start the game for again. I was going to be content to stop after that, I think.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I might go revisit Splinter Cell Conviction at some point. One game I've been playing this past week has been The Division.
Oh, yeah?
The, MMO, Tom Clancy, third-person shooter.
We've both been playing Tom Clancy games. So.
Yeah, we've just been both playing Tom Clancy games, I guess. I went back to The Division because it's been a year and a half, and I still have not beaten that main story, and I have access to some of the DLC stuff, and so I super want to do that. I want to go and do all of the content.
Fair enough.
And so I've been trying to get through the main story. I'm almost there. It starts getting a little bit interesting. It starts getting a little bit weird. The whole game is very weird, but I've really enjoyed kind of going back to The Division again. It's been one of those games that I've come to on and off, and it fulfills a very specific kind of purpose in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the politics of that game are still super gross, and things are bad in that game, as it turns out. It's a Tom Clancy game. Tom Clancy games tend towards more the right wing of politics, I would like to say.
I think it's tied in with the whole gun nut stuff.
It seems like it is, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, typically I'm not drawn to the games, but I got Splinter Cell Chaos Theory when I don't even know when it came out, years ago. And it wasn't like anything I played before. At the time, I thought the graphics were really impressive. I spent 90 minutes on the first mission, which I don't think I'd ever played a game where I could do that sort of thing before. And I was trying to knock everyone out without being seen, kind of stuff. And so it was quite memorable for me. And then I think Double Agent, when I tried to get it, I had to upgrade the computer for it. And this wasn't when I was able to buy my own computer. This was convince my parents to upgrade the family computer because the graphics card literally could not play it. but I'd already bought the game. So for those reasons, it was kind of familiar enough to me that I wanted to get the next one as well. Whereas other Tom Clancy games, just because I know it's about the guns being realistic or something, typically that's not really a draw card to me. So if anything, it's going to make me shy away from them just because I'm kind of an anti-gun nut, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would agree with you on that. Like, guns are bad, actually. They
but
serve
also,
a purpose.
I just also don't care about them being, it's a super realistic gun in a video game. So I don't care. Like, I'll play Borderlands and enjoy that more than your World War II
Yeah,
game.
no, because you can just get the Ghostbusters gun in that game.
Wait, can you?
That's what you can do in there.
Is that real, or are you just like that's the sort of thing it is?
Borderlands, the pre-sequel, has a mission in which you literally just get one of the Ghostbusters guns.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's so good, and it happens in low gravity and all that because you're just on a moon.
Yeah.
So the whole game is just fucking excellent. I love Borderlands and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Those are good games. Borderlands 2 also very good. My friend is in Borderlands the pre-sequel. I swear to God I've told the story on the show. I'll spare you those details. Yeah. Video games.
So
I've
the Division and sorry, I just prompted you to say the thing you were saying. While you were saying it, please continue.
Okay. So also this week I've been playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV. I have been playing Overwatch, which I'll give you a quick update on just the Overwatch situation. One, there's a Summer Games event going on right now, which it's the dead of winter, so I've equipped as many of the winter skins as I can just gather.
I approve.
I have several of them from the last event, so I have I've equipped as many of those as I can muster. Last episode, you may remember that I mentioned that I was in a tournament. We made it through week 1 because our opponent gave us a bye because they couldn't get arranged, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's
so shame. We made it into week 2, and we got immediately destroyed because the team we were up against had a literal, actual World Cup competitor, like the Overwatch World Cup. Someone who was flying out the next day after we played that match to go compete in the Americas group stage, just, utterly devastated us. We won a couple of rounds, but that was as far as we got. It was like two wins to 6 losses, and they won 2-0 for games. So we have been eliminated as of week 2. We had fun,
though. Get a bad draw. Or tough draw, rather.
I'm glad you had fun, though. Realistically, I know. But, I'm a little bummed. I'm a little just kind of honored that I got to play against a World Cup competitor. It's super cool. They'll be representing New Zealand in the America's group stage.
Oh, I didn't know it was done by countries.
World Cup matches are happening, but yeah, that's like a super cool thing that happened.
Nice.
I've also, that's that. I think. Oh, Dark Souls 2 is the other one.
Damn it! So you did beat me.
Down with.
You have played more games than me this week.
Yeah, just barely. Like, I've been trying to focus down on more.
And I beat my record.
I've been trying to focus down more on games because I've been playing a lot of online stuff, but I've also been feeling guilty for not playing a lot of the narrative games that have been sitting in my library, and so stuff like it's stuff like Dark Souls 2. It's been sitting in my library forever, and I just haven't played it. Just haven't done that.
Yeah, I've got a similar problem.
It's very much on me that I haven't done that because I've just been playing other online games. but I wanted to actually, make good on the fact that I own these video games. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the same problem with I've got games like Life is Strange and Dreamfall Chapters that have been sitting in my to-play list that I created in Steam, and they're just been sitting there. I just haven't done them.
Life is Strange is really fucking good, dude.
I know, I've heard that from a lot of people, and I'm so sure I'll enjoy it. But then that has like the counter thing of, oh, okay, I should wait until I've got time I can dedicate to it. And then,
for sure.
That makes it harder. I'm kind of this weird period at the moment where for the last year and a half or a bit more, I have always had a book on the go and the next book ready. But for the last few weeks, I haven't had the next book ready because the next book in the series that I'm reading, I've ordered online. I ordered the next 3 books because I haven't been able to find them in physical stores. And the second book of those 3 arrived over a week ago, and the first and third got sent separately for some reason and haven't arrived yet. So I've been left without a book, and I feel like I've been watching a bunch of shows on Netflix and stuff to try to make up for
fill the void
kind
while
of thing.
You wait.
Yeah. So, and I feel like the thing I'm waiting for is the XCOM 2 expansion that comes out in 3 weeks or about under 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So I'm so looking forward to that. But yeah, it means
it's not far out at all, is it?
No, it's not that far out. But it's kind of this time when I don't want to pick up another narrative game. And I mean, I'm saying all this. I still haven't finished Mass Effect Andromeda. I've just lost my momentum with that. So that's another bummer. But yeah, so I'm in kind of this weird place, and I think that's probably reflected in how many different games I've been playing, I guess.
Yeah, that does make sense. It's because you've been without this book.
Yeah, because normally, having that means I can, because I think I mentioned on the show ages back that I made a rule for myself last year that helped a lot with just boredom in general, that every time I found myself looking at my Steam library thinking, what game should I play, not feeling like a particular game, I'd stop and I'd go read my book. Whereas recently I've spent a bunch of time when I'd be swapping between look at Twitter, look at Steam, do I want to play a game? I'll think about it, look at Twitter, look at Steam, and it's just, it's not productive. Whereas at least if I was reading a book, I was getting further through my book. So it has been really nice though. I've been watching the main thing I've been watching is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Really enjoyed that show. But
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, my dude.
What?
My dude, that show is so good.
Yeah, right? And I've been listening to The Adventure Zone while I play games as well, which has also been pretty good as an understatement.
Yeah, both of those are good. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is... I am so... I was so surprised by 9-9. I went into it not really expecting much of anything, honestly. I don't know. I didn't think that it was going to be too great. But I came out very pleasantly surprised because Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of those shows that has, it's a police show, and you wouldn't expect it to have this, very, very aware sense of politics, but it does. It has a sense of politics, which is, is extremely aware of the world around it. It's very good. It has, very, I would say, left-aligned politics, which I very much jive with. And, oh god, that show is good. It's deeply, deeply funny.
Yeah, I mean, both of those things, that and The Adventure Zone, have been enough to make me laugh out loud when I'm on my own, which doesn't happen often, so, that's props to them.
No, that's, the rarest thing for you. Right?
Yeah, it's I mean, we're talking, once every few episodes, but still, they're good laughs.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, anyway.
It's good.
Those are the non-game things as well. But no, I mentioned before, I've played a little bit of Stardew Valley, and it's surprising. So I've actually found it a little stressful, which is the worst thing, because Stardew Valley is this nice, relaxing, pressureless game. But the days feel like they're too vast for me, and I can't get enough done. And I think if it never changed season, I wouldn't worry about it. But I know, it's going to change season, and it's going to be the festivals and stuff. I shouldn't care. They'll come around again. No one ages. Nothing will happen unless I make it happen. I got to stop caring about it. But I don't know. I played it for about 3 hours last night, and I ended up having to stop because I'm getting a little worked up, which was interesting. Whereas with cities, I mean, it's the same kind of thing, like I mentioned last week, about how you drive through progression. You know, things won't get tougher unless you decide to make more things.
Yeah.
But I guess in that game, I've just felt a little more comfortable stopping for a while. Whereas in Stardew Valley, I feel like if I stopped, one, there's nothing to watch. Whereas cities is nice because, you know, you can just stop and watch people drive around and stuff. But two, I'd be like, oh no, I should be doing this. This could be more effective use of my time or something. I don't know. It drives the I don't even know what I was going to say perfectionist, but that's not the right. It drives something in me to want to find the most efficient use of my time. But that's not how I would enjoy playing that game. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, like there are definitely people who play games like that, and like even Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon, and they've got like spreadsheets, and they have like they've done all the math, and they've figured out the most optimal things to grow every season. And like that's nice. It's not for me. It's the same way people play like EVE Online. EVE Online is much the same thing for other people. It's just like spreadsheets. A lot of them.
Yeah, so it's the sort of thing which I don't enjoy, but also I try to do for some reason. So I need to
you like think about it.
Yeah, so that's
one thing
me
that
annoying
I
myself.
find like the driving force that really brought me through a bunch of Stardew Valley is that there's the bundles. Have you seen these in the community center?
Oh yes, yeah. I only just got far enough to unlock the community center last night because I'd started a new game.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, all the bundles give me like a good sense of purpose because each season there's stuff that you can get that's like only achievable in the spring and only achievable in the summer, and I'm like, I look at those and I'm like, okay, these give me something like a little something to work towards so that I can get some sort of like tangible reward. That's cool.
Definitely. And it's like, hey, grow a range of crops because you need one of each kind of stuff. That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it encourages some variety. It encourages like yeah, it encourages the variety. It encourages the just I'm looking for words to describe what it drives other than like encouraging you to I guess encouraging you to explore the possibility of your farm a little bit more, maybe.
Yes, I mean it also encourages you to look at the different areas like foraging and fishing and stuff because you got different rewards for those as well. If you don't explore them, then you won't be able to fill those bundles.
Right.
And one thing that they've got now, which they didn't have when I last played it, and admittedly there's been a long gap, I think they've had this for a while, is when you start a new game, you can pick from various types of farm, and it's like, oh, you know, this one's in a forest, there's a lot of foraging, or this one's got a lot of water and it's easy to catch fish. This one, monsters come out at night, so you can fight a lot more things and stuff, which is quite neat. You know, you can tailor a bit more to how you like to play. Oh, and there's another one where there's a bunch of rocks for you to hit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're getting multiplayer really too, good. So I might try out the multiplayer when it comes around. Maybe that'll help me
forgot about that.
Feel better about not having to do things with perfect efficiency.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm really interested in seeing kind of where that goes. Like I've heard it's quite challenging to get that implemented. And I imagine it's going to like be super fun. I also really want to see like a Switch port. I don't own a Nintendo Switch, but like Stardew Valley is kind of this perfect, I would say, perfect game for the Switch. Like it's got that format. It's got that like very quick like 15 to 20 minute day kind of format. Which I think makes it great for like being on the go, being on the bus. You stop like you go for 20 minutes. You check out your farm, and, you know, you get a day or two done, and then you come back when you're riding home, you got another 20 minutes, you stopped at home, you've taken a little break from work, 15, 20 minutes, You got a
Yeah, you're
day.
right. It is quite a little
It
episodic
seems like
like
a
that.
good. Yeah, it seems like a good format for that.
Hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Sweet.
All right. Now I've got a question for you.
Do you?
Have we got anything in the inbox this week?
We don't have anything in the inbox this week. If you would like to send us a message to the inbox, you can send us an email, and you can do that by emailing us pausecastshow@gmail.com. We do, however, have a message from one of our patrons
Oh, yeah?
this week. This message comes from Noah Holmes, and they would like to say, please give pigeons your full respect. They don't deserve the hate. And that concludes the inbox.
Fair comment, yeah.
Good things about pigeons.
Damn it, now I'm thinking sad thoughts about pigeons that I used to see when I went to school in the inner city, so I'd eat lunch in Aotea Square, and there were a lot of pigeons around. And some of them were just injured and stuff. It was really sad. We probably don't want to talk about that. Sorry.
No, we don't want to talk about sad pigeons. Pigeons are good though.
Be nice to animals.
They have a bad reputation, and I used to give them shit. Like I really did. I used to look down on pigeons, but now I see how beautiful they are. They're really great. I love pigeons.
I look down on them when they're on the ground.
Yeah, okay. I look down on them when they're on the ground and they're sitting around and eating some seeds.
But I look up at them when they're flying.
There was someone somewhere in the square that I used to have some lunch at when I was working with you. There was someone who would regularly come around lunchtime and just feed the pigeons, and it was very nice and charming to see.
Oh, that is nice of them.
Please feed pigeons. Maybe don't feed them bread. Bread is bad for birds, in case you didn't know. Don't do that. Don't feed ducks bread. Don't feed pigeons bread. It's bad.
Okay, I knew that about ducks. I didn't know that applied to other birds.
Yeah, it's no nutritional value, basically. It's the fucking Scott Pilgrim. Bread makes you fat, and it makes birds kind of get fucked up. And if you've ever seen a goose, perhaps, with a very bent and busted up wing, it's because people fed it a lot of bread. I think it can actually make bird bones weaker, and they're already pretty weak. So yeah, don't feed birds bread. It's bad for them. All right. Going further into video games.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, tell me about it. So, if I remember right, it's free to play up until a certain level, right?
Yeah, so it's Final Fantasy XIV. If you wanted to try it out, it's free to play up until level 35, and the current level cap is 70, which is, a lot. But a thing that's really cool that I didn't initially realize about Final Fantasy XIV is the job system actually lets you have every job at once, essentially.
Oh, what? How does that work?
You change classes by equipping your main your main hand piece of gear, which could be if you're a gladiator, it's probably a sword. If you are a goldsmith, it's a hammer. You can switch between these at will and save gear sets so that you can just press a button and you can go from all your battle gear to all your goldsmithing gear and all this stuff. And you can even do all of the other combat classes.
That gear set thing is a handy thing that Diablo 3 added recently, actually. I'm not sure if I mentioned that when I last talked about the game.
No, you didn't.
But yeah, that's neat, but continue.
Yeah, you can just completely change your class at any point in Final Fantasy XIV. It is super cool because there's also a ton of low-level quests and what are called guild tests, which you can do. They're tasks for your guild, and they'll give you more experience. It's just super, super cool to see that and not have to Yeah, you just don't have to think about too much with it.
Nice. It's reminding me a little bit of how Monster Hunter, when you equip different weapons, it plays so differently. It doesn't have classes, but I mean, the closest thing it has to a class is what weapon you have equipped, because it changes the
Yeah,
moveset
exactly.
so completely.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit similar to that system. Yeah.
Also, a game that lets
The
you
other thing,
save weapon sets, equipment sets, actually.
does it? I never. Maybe I
Yeah,
just never got like that into Monster Hunter
older ones
to like
didn't, I don't
find. Oh
think.
yeah, it does actually let me save weapon sets. That's
Yeah,
cool.
there are equipment sets. Oh, actually, no, older ones have had equipment sets. That's been there for ages. The newer feature was item sets as well. For
Okay.
just, I think that's the newer one. It's got both
Was
now.
it
It
for
didn't used
like
to have one.
like quick equipping a certain set of like items so you could pull it into your inventory and choose the set and it would pull out X amount of potions
Yeah,
and X
exactly.
amount of like these arrow types kind of situation? Is
Exactly. It's
that
like I always want
kind
to
of
take
the gist?
10 mega potions and 10 whetstones and my combining books and stuff like that. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you'd go in
exactly.
before a quest and select that, and it would restock you and get rid of anything extra and stuff like that instead of having to manually do it. I think that's the bit that was new in the more recent game. But equipment
Do you need
sets,
to have
I think have been there for a while.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, no, go for
Do
it.
you need to have the combining books on your person in order to make like
No, they
I
they
thought they were just like a passive effect that you could
yeah.
like buy and then throw in your chest and never think about again?
Oh, so no, if they're in your chest, then they only apply when you're combining items in your chest. If you're combining items in your inventory and you're not accessing the chest, then they only apply if they're in your inventory. So if you want to have a 100% chance of making mega potions while on a quest, you need two of the books with you. So I always take two of the books with me because I
Huh.
always make those. That way you never end up with garbage instead. Like the literal item called
Huh.
garbage
Okay.
you get when you fail to combine stuff.
When you fail to combine like food in Breath of the Wild, you get like dubious food, which is just so excellent.
Can you still eat it?
Yeah, you can still eat it. It'll give you like half a heart.
Okay, like
But
that's
yeah,
not
it's
too
just
bad.
like dubious food, and it has a description like this smells like trash, and it looks like it'll upset your stomach.
But it actually makes you feel
But you
better.
can eat it, and it'll give you half a heart. I would have had maybe a good time if that also just like at some point later, like 5 minutes down the line, like it'll give you this temporary boost now, but it'll like take a half a heart away from you 5 minutes from now.
Oh, that would annoy you if it killed you, though.
Oh, that would be bad. Ah, Breath of the Wild is good also. Like I haven't been back to it for a little while, but yeah. Yeah, it's good. So Mark,
Yeah,
what are you looking forward to playing this week?
thinking that. Um, I this is annoying because I feel like I should go back to Stardew Valley, but I don't know if I will.
Hmm.
Um, I'm sure I'll play more cities, and I'm pretty sure I'll play more Just Cause 3. I still have that mood for um that sort of passive gameplay, I think.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I don't know if I'll return to Stardew Valley. I don't know if I'll return to Conviction. I totally expect I might have another something to happen to make me want to play a game like what happened this week with Conviction, but I don't know what exactly it might be. Maybe revisit Dying Light to try out the expansion, depending on if my flatmate brings his computer back downstairs, if we feel like it. Because if
Well,
I did
hey,
that,
that
I'd be playing
that
with
seems like
him
it
as
would be
well.
super good.
Yeah. Actually, we should play Dying Light sometime, because you've got it too, right?
Yeah, I do, and so does Ash.
Yeah, we should do that. So, okay, there we go. I'm putting it out there. I'm looking forward to playing Dying Light with you two.
Okay. All
We should
right.
do that
All
sometime.
right. Okay. All right.
We can find the time for it. But yeah, no, that's what I think I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm yeah, I think I'm happy for now getting my narrative as that kind of intermediate episodic thing that I can stop for when I get my new book.
Mm.
I don't know if I'll stop it when I get my new book. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to continue my sort of weird in between narrative games mode and keep playing those passive ones, I think. What about you?
I'm going to try and I'm going to see if I can keep this narrative stuff going and like keep playing Dark Souls 2.
Weird.
I'm going to keep playing Dark Souls 2. It's a very good video game. It's a very good video game.
Actually, that reminds me. We talked last week about those role-playing game ideas that you had inspired by the Dark Souls universe. You got any plans to take them anywhere?
Not right now.
Not right now?
No.
Okay. Nope. Cool. I just thought I'd ask because I think it was kind of cool.
I know you do, and like I do want to do something with it. It's just I got a billion things on my plate right now.
Totally get it. So yep, more Dark Souls 2.
Adult is bad. Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, adulting. It's weird.
Adulting sucks. Dark Souls 2 is good. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds I'm going to be continuing to play because that's a very good video game that I enjoy a lot. Probably going to see about finishing The Division this week. And Final Fantasy XIV. I've been having this thought about going back to Mafia 3.
Yeah?
Because I didn't finish Mafia 3.
Would you be going back and continuing the story or starting it again?
Probably starting again because it's been a while.
Yeah, okay.
But a bunch of the DLC is out.
Oh, right.
Actually, all of the DLC is out. And I've been kind of thinking about the structure of Mafia 3 and how it all works and thinking, oh yeah, I would super enjoy a game like that right now. That gives me this like it gives me like meaty chunks to go working through. I think I'd very much like that. So I'm thinking I might go back to Mafia 3 very, very soon.
Nice.
I almost don't want to wrap up with that. I feel like there is potentially something more.
About a particular game?
I want to talk about Hellblade, but I haven't played it yet. Have you heard about there was some stuff that people were not happy with Hellblade.
What's Hellblade?
Which I really like, by contrast.
I'm assuming this is a video game you're talking about, since we're on a video game podcast.
Yes, this is a video game that I'm talking about. It's,
I haven't heard
the full
of this.
title, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, is from the creators of Heavenly Sword and DMC Devil May Cry.
Hey, you've mentioned this to me before, haven't you?
Yes, I
feel
have.
like you have, because I feel like you've mentioned a game made by those people to me before, but I must have forgotten its name.
I think I have, yeah. But, so, it came out, and a thing that was not talked about prior to the game's launch is this feature that's in the game, which is a permadeath mode, which is not optional. Here's how it works. Basically, it sets up in the context of the story that like you're being affected by what it calls the dark rot. And every time you die, the dark rot will grow and like move itself along your body in a physical and tangible way. And if it reaches your head, you die permanently and your save is erased.
So you just stop playing the game, or you have to play it all again?
You would have to play it all again.
But that just sounds that sounds bad to me.
It sounds super good to me.
Like I could totally understand as an optional thing. As a required thing, that
I mean, that's what I think some people are not too thrilled with. But I like that a lot. I think it's there's a piece up on Waypoint right now talking about how the stress of that is very essential to the tone and the aim of this game, because it is quite literally a journey into hell is what this game is. and what it's about. It's a literal journey into hell. And so I feel like this is like I feel like it would be vital to the experience of this game that yes, there is this kind of stress hanging over it. There's this pressure on you.
I just can't help
I
but
like it
think of what
thematically.
happens
I
when it
like
goes
it.
wrong.
Hmm?
I just can't help but thinking about what happens when it goes wrong. I can understand how it would fit in thematically and add that element of pressure, but when someone's put like 8 hours or whatever into a game, but hey, they weren't amazing enough at playing it, then the game says, "Fuck you, you got to start again or just go away." I don't know. That's the sort of thing where I think if I were playing that game, I would be going out and making backups of my saves because I don't want the game
Right,
to delete
yeah.
them. As an optional thing, that sounds really neat, but let people turn it off. Like in XCOM, you can start with
It
Iron
might
Man
get
mode to do
patched. It
that.
might get patched out at some point. Like we'll have to see. But
I don't know. And I mean, I don't
from
know
what I understand,
how,
combat doesn't feature too heavily in it anyway. It's a
and I don't
lot
know
of
how many times you
really
have to
great
die
narrative stuff.
for it to happen, right? It might be that you'd have to really make an effort to really fail at this. I don't know. It sounds like in kind of an accessibility thing as well.
There's like I definitely have some concerns about it from an accessibility front, and I don't know. Maybe that is a problem. Maybe it's not too bad. Um, Apparently this game does some really great things with audio and stuff as well, and it is
Cool.
actually like super innovative. And so I'm very very excited to see about giving this a shot very soon. It's got a 90% positive rating on Steam,
Oh yeah.
which for like narrative heavy games is basically unprecedented. Like fucking nothing has anything like that. Tacoma also has that rating, which seems like a good thing, considering it's from the developers of Gone Home, a video game which gamers like just are repulsed by. So Tacoma's out. I'm very excited about that. I want to give that a shot at some point.
Cool.
I think Mark may have died there.
Oh, sorry, did you not hear me? I did say cool, but I think when I say only short things, Discord might not always pick it up.
All right, we gotta sort that out at some point.
Sorry about that. I
Thank
am
you to
replying, I
everyone.
swear.
Thank you to everyone who's listened to
Yeah, thanks
the
so much
show
for joining us
so
for
far.
episode 50. Holy
Episode
crap.
50. We barely even addressed it. Like I addressed it right at the beginning, and then we just like got into the shit. It's
But,
episode
like,
50.
50.
How did we get here? How did we
Well,
get
we
here?
did 49 other episodes, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. That's like the most boring way of looking at it, but sure, yeah. We did that, I guess. We're on episode 50. That's very exciting. With that actually comes some additional excitement. As a little bit of housekeeping here, I migrated our hosting. So we are going to be taking our SoundCloud stuff down pretty soon. Just because I don't want to be paying for 2 hosting services, and to continue to upload stuff to SoundCloud would be costing us a little bit of money. So we've migrated to a new host, and you don't have to update anything. It's already happened behind the scenes invisibly. You will never have noticed. There will be basically no difference to you. But it does mean that we can do more interesting show notes, and I can format stuff a little nicer. So we can start putting more links in and start thinking about kind of having more articles to reference and stuff, and not having that just be constrained to the show notes that are on our Patreon. That's super cool. Speaking of Patreon, we are on Patreon. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so by going to bits.ly/PauseCast, and that'll take you straight to our Patreon. You can support the show for $1 a month, and you will get a message read every month. You get early access to bonus content, which we're going to have some more of soon. I'm putting together an interview for the composer of Read Only Memories, Too Mellow. And so that will be happening sometime in August. Patrons get early access to that bonus content for $1 a month.
And we also just really appreciate it when you support us like that, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you to those of you who have supported the show thus far, including Noah Holmes, Ash Yee, PD, and Rezidoke. Thank you for your continuing support of the show. It means a lot. I would also like to kind of set a target. I'd like to get us over... I'd like to get us over our first goal, which is $15 a month. I'd like to get us over that first goal by the end of September. When I want to get us over that. We can do it. I believe in us. We're already basically a quarter of the way there. If you like the show, please consider giving us a rating or review on iTunes. It helps us out a lot. We're on basically everywhere. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're basically just everywhere, PauseCast Show. And if you want to get onto the inbox, which is a new thing that we're doing now, you can go and email us, pausecastshow@gmail.com. I think I've talked a lot. Mark.
Take a breath.
Yeah. Mark, where are you online?
So I'm on Twitter at HonestUniverse, and I blog as well, though not about video games, at honestuniverse.com. And you're online as well.
Yeah, I'm online. I'm extremely online. You can find me online at hoisted.online, or you can find me at bird.school as well. You can also find me on Twitter at cockatielcutie, though going to bird.school will just take you to my Twitter. It's fine. Alright. I think that is going to do it for us this week. Oh, music! Thank you to Leon for the use of our theme song, Honey Milk Island, from the... it's not from an album, it's just free. Download it for free, soundcloud.com/LEYAWN. That's it for this week. Peace.